Folks, I thought I should take this moment here on AgriView to express my appreciation to many of you that follow us on this channel, but also to some people that have seen the announcement of my appointment as the Presidential Envoy on agriculture and land reform on many announcements and the news outlets that have been circulating this in the past couple of days. It's a great honor, and I look forward to continuously working to serve this important sector of our economy. And I think the message was quite clear, which is that agriculture as well as land reform remain critical to our economic progress as a country. But also when we think about the inclusiveness in the farming economy, this is one of the areas that we still have a bit of a good headway to make, and there are possibilities. And I think that there's always often a misunderstanding that when we talk about transformation or inclusiveness, we are talking about replacement of others by others. But I can tell you there's a number of resources that we have on land where inclusive growth can be pursued while supporting the existing farmers, existing agribusinesses, but still able to open a new pathway for others to come into the sector. This country has bought land in the open market for a couple of years, and that land still needs to be released with title deeds to make sure that the new entrant farmers are coming into the sector. Issues of gender, issues of age, and making sure that young people are participating in the sector, those are some of the aspects when we talk about inclusiveness, we're really outlining or including in that particular messaging. And I think these are some of the things that, of course, in our thinking about how do we inclusively grow the sector will be part of these discussions. And I'm highlighting those not to say there aren't a number of challenges that the sector faces. There's a number of things that we have talked about here on AgriView, and I've discussed it in a number of my writings. Either it's issues of biosecurity, plant and animal health, aspects of searching for new export markets, rural crime and stock theft, municipalities that are not delivering to optimal levels that we would like for the sector to actually receive, issues of funding in the sector, as well as areas of collaboration, both within the government, the private sector, academia, and many others. So there's a number of areas that the sector needs to work on in order for us to be able to achieve inclusive growth and some of the gains that many people have talked about. There are plans that this country has actually outlined. If you think back in 2012, there was Chapter 6 of National Development Plan, which outlined a pathway at a high level, a vision of where South Africa's agricultural sector should go. And he made a bold statement, which is that in terms of employment, which we so badly need as a country, we could add close to 1 million jobs. And those 1 million jobs were not only just in the primary agricultural side, but also the possibilities that we could achieve in the value chain of agriculture. And I think that promise or that vision, that aspiration remains quite relevant even today in South Africa. And years later, collectively, business, social partners, government work together to come up with another plan, which is the Agriculture and the Agro-Processing Master Plan. The current leadership in the Department of Agriculture embraced that plan, coming back from the excellent work that was done by the then Minister Thoko Didiza, together with you, stakeholders in the sector, on coming up with that plan. And I think that seeing it through is still very important. And I know that the Agriculture and Agro-Processing Master Plan has not enjoyed a wide support of everyone. And I think that there is always a possibility and an avenue to improve it because it is a living document. It will get implemented, and then people will come up with some learnings within the master plan and some areas that they can improve, areas that can tweak. But I think what is not perhaps and may not even serve us very well is sitting back and saying, we are not going to start with the full implementation at scale because we want everyone to deem it as perfect. I think that would be a policy mistake. What you need is implementing the master plan in areas of agreement and in areas that you are confident that they are addressing the present day problems, and then collectively include some of the messaging as you progress and you are learning from that. And I'm saying all of these things not to say that is primarily the responsibility of the envoy, but I'm trying to say the vision is there, The programs are there. There are departments. There are many people. There are yourselves, South Africans, who have actually come up and participated in assembling some of these plans. What is necessary now is coordination to ensure that we are able to deliver that vision. And in that role of the Presidential Envoy on Agriculture and Land Reform, one has a possibility and an avenue to work with the Land Reform Department, with the Department of Agriculture and many other stakeholders and those that are in a trade, because trade and issues of exports is very important to South African agricultural sector. We are now exporting half of what we produce. We are at just over $15 billion of agriculture export in 2025, and we want to see growth in export. Because the reality is that we can talk about expansion in production, but without paying attention on the areas of exports, we will not go far. And areas of exports cannot succeed without paying sufficient attention on biosecurity, logistics, and the other things. So there's a lot of work that will be done, and I think then the collaboration and the coordination is important in achieving all of these things, because no one person or entity or department can do all of this. It is through that working together that we will be able to deliver this. And of course, as I assume more of the duties on that side, I will still be recording and be here on AgriView and writing in all of the other areas that I write on, so that you as South Africans are clear about what are some of the things we are thinking, what informs our thinking, and also what is the progress of some of the things that we are making. And there will be official communication, of course, at relevant departments about those things. But I will still be with you in here. And I am so grateful for all of the support that I've received. And I look forward to continuing to work and serving you. And of course, everything that we'll do, it will be to satisfy the president's agenda, as well as some of the aspirations that he has set out, which is that of growth in the South African economy, improvement in the living standard, and seeing really rejuvenation of the rural economy in South Africa, with agriculture being one of the key drivers of that upliftment of the rural people, because we talk about the township economy and the other areas. And I think it's important that we remember that the rural economy, we are not leaving behind on that. And I think this step is really positioning the rural economy and agriculture at the forefront in that particular way, especially because of what it can do to deliver for South Africa. So thank you so very much.